Hosted by
As electricity tariffs are set to increase significantly from the 1st of April 2026. Now, this comes as the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, that's NERSA, has approved an 8.76% tariff hike for Eskom direct customers.
If I were to give you an electricity bill and asked you to explain exactly what are you paying for, would you be able to do it? The reality is most South African businesses and residents are paying more than what they should actually be paying for. My name is Pumlani and this is the Tariff Engineer.
Let's be honest, we are not only talking about the total amount on your electric bill or your electricity bill. I mean your tariff structures, your time of use rates, demand charges, the network fees and all the other charges that drive your energy cost. And to be honest, most people don't. And the lack of understanding is the reason why most households and businesses are overpaying for electricity every month. My name is Bapelele and I specialize in tariff analysis, cost optimization and bill validation. And we're here to break down your complex billing structures.
In today's episode, we're going to be taking you through a typical bill where we're going to break it down step by step so you can really understand where your money is going. Now, before we get into the bill, let's just talk about the current situation of South Africa in terms of its electricity tariffs. Now, they've been escalating on an annual basis, and this mostly affects residential and businesses on a day-to-day basis. B, can you tell us more about this?
Alright, so let's unpack it real quickly. So firstly, we're going to talk about the Eskom customers, right? So as an Eskom customer, you have to be aware that annually on the 1st of April there are tariff increases, certain percentages that are implemented on your previous rate or the rate that you're currently on. And that will obviously affect you in terms of now the price changes. So this happens annually for Eskom customers on the 1st of April. So for the year 2026, there was 8.7% that was implemented. So this basically means that there will be changes now on your price or the amount that you're paying.
100%.
So, but yeah, you can be still using the same amount of electricity, but there will be changes when it comes to your costs.
100%. Now, so I think from what he said right now, we can highlight one important fact, which is whatever you are paying right now significantly increases each and every time there are these tariff increases. And I think another point we'd highlight is that these are seasonal, to say that per season, which is we have high and low season, there are certain charges that your cost of electricity is actually at. Now, on your screen right now is that energy bill. We're going to be breaking it down step by step, each section, so that you can actually understand what is entailed in that actual bill. So I'm going to tell them about the energy charges. So on this bill we have multiple charges, as you see on screen. The energy charge are categorized into so many charges on this bill that you need to actually understand what you're actually paying for. So we have the time of use, which we're going to discuss later on in the video. In this case, we have peak. Peak on this bill, it's 24,000 estimate. Then we have off-peak at 69,000. Then we have standard at 62,000. These are your energy charges on this bill, but they're not the total energy charges. So Eskom also charges you based off your network demand charge. And we also have your ancillary service charges. We also have electrification and rural subsidy charges. And then these total to your whole energy consumption costs. So when we say your energy consumption, we mean all those line items as per the bill.
I think it's also important that we highlight to the people or the consumers, the customers, what an estimate is, because sometimes people will be complaining and they wouldn't understand why did I use so much when in actual fact I know that I used less. So in terms of an estimate, how does it play a role now if your bill is shown as an estimate? or an estimated consumption?
No, most definitely. So what the municipality or the utility does in actual sense is that it uses on their billing system either an actual or an estimate. So the estimate would be that maybe your meter is faulty at the premises, and then when they go to the premises, they can't actually get the actual reading from how much consumption that you used. So what they would do is that they apply different methods, some of which they'll just average from your previous month how much was your consumption, and then they take that total, and then that will be how much they estimate on your bill
For that current month.
for that current
For that
month.
current period, the meter is still faulty.
100%. So also on top of that, if they use the actual, that's where they actually use the reading from the meter itself, and then that is most viable, and it gives a better accurate reading and relief to the customers themselves when they see that actual reading, because this is what their actual consumption was for that period of that month. 100%.
I think it's very important also for people to understand that once they get to understand their energy charges and all of those important charges, they have to also understand that there are fixed charges that are implemented on their utility bill, and we have labeled them as the third section on the bill on the screen. So the fixed charges, it's a fixed amount that you pay monthly on your utility, whether you use your electricity or you don't. So it is implemented because of the infrastructure that the utility company or maybe Eskom has built. So it's basically an amount that will always be there whether you decide to pay for electricity or you don't.
100%.
We also have the administration charges. People always know them as admin charges. So these are charges that basically we pay for the administration for the utility company to send through your utility bills, just for paper. I don't know if you can jump in.
100%. I think further to that, you differentiated them quite correctly. So your admin is just basically your paper trade, the billing, all the tedious work that comes into sending you the invoice at the end of the month.
Correct.
Then obviously the fixed charge is you're just paying for the infrastructure that Eskom has built for you. So yeah, no, definitely, I think that covers the section for the service charges. There's multiple criteria of them actually, which Eskom and utilities implement and at different rates. But basically, in a nutshell, your service charge is basically paying for the infrastructure that is in place. Then your admin fee is paying basically for you getting your invoice at the end of the month. Now let's go to the fourth part of this bill, which is your maximum demand. So for this typical bill, as we're looking at it, your demand reading actually is sitting around 320.75 kVA. So before we go further into explaining it, I think I must just go through what does the demand mean, or how does it influence your bill. So your maximum demand is your highest point at a specific time in the month. So in this case, they look at a 30-month rolling period, 30-day rolling period in the month, which means that obviously when they look at all those days in the month, how much did you pull or how much do you demand from the utility, and then they take that amount as the highest amount in your consumption period for that month, and then multiply it by the rate, and it gives you that total. But furthermore, just to break it down a bit further, on this bill actually there are multiple demand charges on this bill actually. So for example, you have your network demand charge. In this case, since this is a mini flex tariff, which we're going to go through on the next videos, your mini flex tariff calculates your network demand based off your kilowatt usage. So that would relate back to the energy charges. 100%. So now your demand charge in this case, since it's in kVA, it's actually measured based off your network capacity charge. So your network capacity charge is a charge that is contractually obligated or contractually signed between parties, which would be utility
And yourself.
Correct. And then from yourself, you'd take a set amount to say, okay, this is my benchmark. I won't be able to go above this certain value.
Correct.
Now, if you do go above this certain value, there are obviously penalties which the utility would implore on you, and this is actually highlighted in the tariff booklet which Eskom releases annually. So
it's basically not behavior.
100%.
So it's you are now committing to be below a certain demand, and then now your usage goes above it, and now you are being naughty, and you will have to suffer the consequences and the penalty charges.
100%. To put it in better perspective for everyone to understand, there's a graphic on your screen right now. As you can see, that beer, it contains your total kVA usage. This is to better understand how this actually works. So your kVA is the total glass, or the total of the brim of that glass. That's your kVA. Now your actual power is the beer itself. This is how much you consume, and then the foam on top, that's your reactive power. So the total of everything is your kVA. So this is measured throughout the whole consumption period in this case. So that's why you'd find, okay, your total kVA is set at this amount, then they bill you according to that. If you go over and above, which means that the beer will spill, obviously, then they penalize you for that, basically. So yeah, also on the bill, you have your generation capacity charge. This is also based off your NMD, or your network demand charge. This is also contractually obligated between you and the utility service provider. And then the last bit of it would be so it's your network capacity charge and your generation capacity charge.
So if you have made it this far on this video, kindly hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below. Also, please kindly share the video. I think one of the most important parts, besides the energy charges, that people need to understand when it comes to your energy bill will be the time of use charges and the time of use rates. So what you're currently seeing on your screen is the time of use rule from Eskom, where it will show you different energy charges at different times of the day. So you would see that there's off-peak hours, which will be your least expensive hours of the day, and then you would have your standard charges, or standard times, which will be your moderate,
moderately expensive.
Not really,
not cheap, but
not cheap, but
moderately expensive.
And then you would have your peak hours, which will be your most expensive. So the charges that are implemented on these time of uses, they differ. Obviously, your peak hours, the rates are more than the other times of the day. The reason being would be because it's because of the demand 100% that is needed during those times. If you can take a closer look, you would see those times of the day where the demand is high, and the reason why now the rates become higher during those times of the day. If we can maybe quickly go through the energy bill, go back to the energy bill, you would see that your peak energy charge is charged at R2.76. And you see, and also we'll explain the seasons. But for now, we're just going to go through the charges themselves, and then you would have your standard charges, which will be it's charged at R1.55. Also your off-peak charge, which will be your least expensive, at R1.11. So, if you don't mind, you can come in and explain the seasons.
100%. So these rates, as he's explained them, these rates are actually seasonal, which means there's 2 seasons per year according to the Eskom charges and municipality charges, which would be your low and your high season. So low being less expensive, high being most expensive. You would see that your high seasons actually 3 months per year, this is from June, July, and August. These are your winter seasons. Obviously, this is where most people consume a lot of electricity, and there's a lot of demand from the grid to actually supply the electricity. Hence, they are priced more expensive relatively compared to the ones in the low season.
In the low season,
100%.
Obviously, summer.
100%. Summer, there's less consumption, there's less demand, you know. So hence why they would be priced less relatively compared to the ones that are in the high demand season. So I think further to add to that, I think people should understand the reason why there's this tariff, and luckily Eskom has actually introduced tariffs for residential users, time of use tariffs for residential users who would like to opt to rather not be charged at a flat rate, 100%. So this is basically making means for everyone to be able to manage their energy consumption. Luckily with the time of use tariffs, you can know, like he has explained, on the wheel itself, your times where it's peak, that's where there's a lot of demand. So if you can better manage your usage during those times, you actually reduce your cost on your bill. So now it's available for residential users. It's also available to commercial and industrial users. So I think this is actually a good tariff coming from Eskom. Most people would actually save using or by migrating to this tariff.
Yeah, so people need to just understand and know the peak hours and off-peak hours.
100%, 100%. Okay, now let's bring everything together so that you can understand the total cost of this energy bill. So the sum of the total energy on this bill, it comes up to 156,601 kilowatts. And then the total energy cost, which is inclusive of all those energy components that we went through on the bill, brings the total to 300,893. Then the service charges, which is your service charge and your administration charge, they come to a total of 6,536. Then your total demand costs, which is your network capacity and your generation capacity charge, it comes to 62,456. And then the total overall cost, exclusive of VAT by the way, it comes to 369,886. Now this is the total of the entirety of this bill. Now we must mention that this bill is actually for an industry customer, so it was done to basically give an understanding of how much each companies are spending on an average in terms of their electricity costs. And this is applicable to most retail stores, major distribution centers, all the industries that you can actually think of.
So as we are about to wrap this episode, I think one of the few important takeaways that we can have from this episode is that your energy bill is structured. It's not just random, and you need to best understand your structure, your tariff, and what you are billed on, so that you can best understand how to use and control your energy usage. So also on the next episode we'll be talking about new technologies, your solar and your battery storages. Yeah,
definitely we have a lot in store for everyone, and I think one important takeaway that we can always remember from the channel and from us is that know your tariff, know your cost.